So AnyCAD for Inventor, utilizing third-party CAD tools. And so in doing that, what do we mean? Well, AnyCAD for Inventor was introduced back with the 2016 release of Inventor. And what that granted us was the ability to place associative links between CAD files that were not created in Inventor into the Inventor assemblies and in the Inventor drawings that we're placing. And those associative links are live links back to that data. So if something changed, we would get the automatic updates there inside of the Inventor assembly or inside of the Inventor drawing that we've utilized those views for. So take SolidWorks, for instance. If you are working with a SolidWorks file and you placed it into an Inventor assembly, and the SolidWorks users saved the changes there in the shared folder that we've placed from, the updates automatically show in Inventor. The update icon becomes available inside the software. You just click update. It updates the files that changed. There's no retranslation needed. We don't have to delete the file, bring it back in, reconstrain it. All the updates happen there live. The same goes for step files and iges files. If we've downloaded a step file from a vendor, or they've saved it to the cloud or emailed it to us, we've saved it locally, we place it in our file, in our assembly file. If they send us another one, just override it in the Windows Explorer inside of Inventor. The update icon is available. We local update the file. Everything shows and appears there correctly. Again, we don't have to delete it. We don't have to bring it back in. It's just a live reference to that file. So that is what we mean when we go with the AnyCAD for Inventor. These third-party CAD files, non-native Inventor CAD files that we want to bring in, that's what we utilize. So what can we do with them? Well, we can put them in our assembly files. We can put them in our drawing files. We can collaborate with these. So we don't have to redesign them in Inventor. We don't have to convert them all to Inventor files if we don't want to. We just live place them in our Inventor assemblies and work with them. Now we can still open them and we can still convert them to Inventor files if we want to make edits to them. We can use our direct edit capabilities, commands inside of Inventor to resize, to shrink, to extend. You know, if we need to work around it for clearance, we can extend the size of one. We can simplify them, make different shapes of them so that we can make sure we can fit this in our factory or our layout where we're working with. But it's just utilizing those tools. And then once we've got the model open, we can utilize it on the 2D side. We can use the 3D modeling annotation tools inside of Inventor that we're working with there. So let's jump right over to the software. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open, and let's go over here and open a SolidWorks file. And so this is a SolidWorks solid body file, an SLDPRT file. And we're just going to open it to start with. And we're going to get the import dialog box. And it says, do we want to convert this or do we want to reference this? So this is where we start making the choices. Do we want to reference this model or do we want to convert it? So if I want to convert it and make, or if I want to make changes to it and edit it, I'm going to use the conversion option. If I want to place it as a live reference, I'm going to use the reference option. So we've got some other options here that we can look at inside the dialog box. Are we bringing in surfaces, individuals, construction, or composites? Do we want to give it a prefix or a suffix name? Do we want to put it in a specific folder? And this is available because we're on the convert option. We've also got this property mapping available. And so on the Inventor side, we're looking for these iProperties. But we're bringing in a SolidWorks file. So what do we want to map from? So, all right, we want the title, subject, author, keywords, comments, those are the same. Then we get a little bit lower and then we see some differences. So company name is our company. Created is creation date. Part no is part number. And so we can map these properties over. So we're bringing in this inherent data. So we're not losing anything there on the translation. We scroll down, we can see a few more there. The designer is drawn by, estimated cost is cost, and so forth. And so we can hit save. We want to change those. If we know there's some changes we need to make, we could edit that. But then if we look at the reference model, we lose some of those. And because we're just placing it as a live link, and what do we want to bring in? Do we want to bring in points? Do we want to bring in surfaces, solids? On the conversion side, you know, we can bring in meshes and wires and other options here as well. And then the imported length, you know, from the source, do we want to convert it here? I like leaving it from the source. I'm gonna leave it in the same file right here. So we're gonna leave this one on the convert side so we can make a change to it. So here it comes in. Let me change the lighting style here so we can see it a little easier. We'll go to the default lights. There we go. So it brightens up a little bit. So we've got this chiller component, and this is something we're buying from a vendor. We need to make sure it fits. We can get it down between our machine lines here into an opening in the warehouse or whatever it is. So we've got some direct edit tools that we can utilize here on the 3D modeling tab called direct edit. And let's say we want to change the size of this box here. And so I can grab this face and just kind of start dragging this out. I can be precise if I want to type in how much I want it to go, or if I know I just want to ballpark it, I can kind of drag this up and it kind of snaps at the document settings of the file here. And so we'll drag this out and we can just resize this. And so this works great for a little box, but what about one of the round objects, the cylindrical objects here? So we can do the same thing. And so we can move this, right? If we want to resize this, we can change the size and we can resize this. So if we know that this component, there's a beam in the way, we want to make sure we can clear it coming through here. So we can make changes here. So I've modified this file. This was a SolidWorks file I started with. I've converted it to an Inventor file. So now we can see it's converted to an IPT. I've got all of the solid bodies over here listed as bodies in my model browser tree. So I can save this as an Inventor file. I can place this in my drawing, place this in my assembly, check for interferences and so forth and make sure it's there. Or I could have brought it in as a live reference. So this one here we brought in as a conversion. So now let's start a new assembly. And let's go look at the AnyCAD side on the live links. And so typically we would see the place option right here. And this allows us to place any component we want to place into the file. But we want to use the AnyCAD side. We're going to go place imported CAD files. And this is going to look at the files that are non-native Inventor files. And so step files, iges files, SolidWorks, Pro-E, CATIA, those types of files. So we're going to bring in this surface file here. And I'm going to put this one in an assembly. So it's going to go out. I want to structure-wise, I'm going to turn it into a multi-body part if it's there. I want to bring in solids and surfaces. It's an iges file. The majority of the time, iges files are surface files. So we're just going to go ahead and say OK here and bring it in and take a look at it. And it'll go out. Usually takes 15, 20 seconds on a medium-sized file. The larger the files, the longer it takes to bring those in. We've got a conveyor line and a process line I'm going to bring in a few minutes later. It's going to take a couple minutes to bring in. But this one here will go out and it'll start doing the translation here in the background. Again, it's building me a live link back to this file. So we'll come in here. We're at 95%, almost there. And I do have another session of Inventor open here in the background that may be slowing us down a little bit. Maybe not. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's get this one out of the way. All right, so there is my iges file. It's all surfaces. So I'm going to just right-click place at origin here so we can get it on screen. And so we've got it built here as it's imported this in for us, and it's updating there. Depending on the specs of your machine as well, we'll alter this or speed this up. The laptop I'm running this on only has 32 gigs of RAM and a 4 gig graphics card. So if you've got a super monster computer, 64 gigs, 128 gigs, 8 gig graphics card, it's going to be a lot faster than this. If it's not spec'd as high, it could be a little bit lower. But so now I have this file. It's brought in all the surfaces. It's kind of giving me a translucent look here because it is surface files. And the way this assembly was saved out from the Inventor side to start with, it had the colors applied, so those colors carry over to the surfaces themselves. But one thing about when we do convert this is, if I go in a level deep here, I have this third-party folder. And in this here, I can open up this conversion document, and I can see here that this was successful. It took 46 seconds to open this file. It's originally coming from Inventor 2022, and no issues. If there's a warning, if there was a failure, those will be listed right down here in this file or in this tree. Allow me to take a look at those individual. So I've got this iges file converted here. It's all surfaces. I want to take this over to the drawing. It's going to tell me I've got to save it, which is fine. We'll save it right here in this folder and say okay, and it's going to go out and save this for me very quickly, and then it'll start the drawing process for us, and we can start placing our views on our drawings. Now, when Inventor goes into this not responding mode there, that's a Windows thing saying, hey, I want to freeze this for a second so we don't pick and click anywhere. We don't need to work while I'm working here in the background. And so now, which template do I want to use? I'll just use my standard DWG template here. And then the drawing view dialog box appears, and it'll start building the model here for me. I'm going to square this up a little bit, and we'll just throw 3 views of this guy here. Now, I'm bringing in surfaces. My template is set up to allow for surfaces. If yours is not, it's on the Recovery Options tab, and we say Include Surface Bodies. If that is not checked, it can't show us those surfaces. So we want to make sure that inside Inventor, and I'm using Inventor 2022, that on the recovery options here, we are using the Include Surface Bodies toggle, and that way it can put these surfaces, display these surfaces correctly here inside the model views. So once we've got the views created and applied here, again, each one of these views is a live link back to that assembly, or back to that file. In this case, it's a single iges file that we brought in. But if we make a change, if anything happens, all of these are automatically updated as soon as we would hit that local update button. That would become available for us there. All right, so we're going to come over here to the Annotate tab, and we'll throw a couple of dimensions on this one here, and we'll just grab some edges here just because we can, just to show we can throw some dimensions on this guy. And we'll just do some base dimensions here, or baseline dimensions. And so we can dimension from anywhere that's on here, any of the edges, the arcs, the circles, the diameters, the holes, anything that's on there. We can adjust those, move those over so we can see them. And then I can see that this is a very small model that was brought in or saved as from Inventor down to the iges file. So we can bring those into Inventor. We can convert them to Inventor files. We can leave them as live reference links. We can place them into our drawings. We can put annotations on them on the Inventor side. On the modeling side, we can use the 3D annotations if we would like. So we've got our annotation here. We can come in here and put our dimensions on this one here. I can see my radius on this one. And let's do this again. We can do another one right here. And so we can do our 3D annotations here if we would like. We can pull those into the 2D drawings there as well. So let's start another new assembly. And we're going to place another imported CAD file. And this one is a step file. And so we're going to bring this one in. And this is a larger file. So this one will take a little bit longer to bring this one in. And it's going to go out, it's going to read the file as it starts the translation process. And here we go, we want to convert or reference. Well, we're going to place this one as a live reference. So it is coming from a step file. We still have some property mapping. If there was any information saved on the export side that we want to bring in, if we know who saved it from what software, I'm going to say okay here and let it go out and start building this in the background. And while this is working there, I'm going to flip back over here to the slide deck and kind of take a quick look here at the different formats that we can bring in. AutoCAD files, Unigraphics, the CATIA, the SolidWorks, the ProE, steps, iges, alias files. And Inventor is also listed here. And the AnyCAD for Inventor does work with Inventor files. And the way that works is, say I'm using Inventor 2022. So these files are saved as Inventor 2022 format. Well, anyone that's using Inventor 2021 with the latest update 3, they could place my Inventor 2022 file inside Inventor 2021. So it can go one release back, can't edit it, but you can place a live reference. So AnyCAD also works for Inventor one release back. So if you've got Inventor 2020 update 3, you could insert Inventor 2021 files. If you've got Inventor 2016, you could place Inventor 2017 files as long as you have the latest and greatest updates. So Inventor does allow you to place one reference newer in your version. So 2022 is the latest and greatest, so I can place any version of Inventor files in here. But if I am using Inventor 2021, I could place a live reference of Inventor 2022 data. I just couldn't make any changes to it. It's just going to place it just like it does a step file or a SolidWorks file. It's going to place it as a live reference. If anything changes, we can hit update. They're inside the CAD side or inside the Inventor file. And so here, this is built for us in the background. We'll just right-click place at origin and let it start placing the components here for us. Again, this one here, we use the reference option. So here I've placed in my reference file. And so I see I've got 151 unique components currently in memory. I have, let's close these out so they're not counting. We don't have to save that. So I've got 151 unique or 148 unique components open, 629 total occurrences here, including the assembly document. So I've placed this in as a live reference, and if I received a updated version, I just drag and drop it into the Windows Explorer folder, overwrite it. All right, yes to overwrite the files. If the changes were made right here, this little local update would be available here inside of Inventor. Click the local update, and the model automatically updates for us. We don't have to take it out, bring it back in. The translation, no retranslation there. Everything is just updated. So the models that did update automatically get changed. The ones that need to, that did not update, they're still there. So there's no retranslation there. So let's go ahead and save this guy, and we'll save it into the same folder. Again, 148 unique components there that it's displaying. It's saving the one file for us, and or the one assembly file, but it's going out and retranslating, re-update, or not retranslating, re-updating all of the geometry. It's looking at the exterior geometry there. As it goes, and once we've got the save completed here, we'll take this over to a new drawing, and we'll place this on a drawing as well. So we're going to right-click, create a new drawing. You can use the new, you don't have to use the right-click create. You can use the same functionality, the new dialog box. We'll place these over here. We've got the shaded view on. Again, we've got surface bodies on if there are any surfaces here. And let's go back and do that again. So we'll say OK right here to quickly create these for us. And here inside of Inventor, I've got the shading turned on. As we zoom in, zoom out, we can see this. We can edit these views. We can show the hidden lines. If we want to see those, we can turn the shading off if we don't want to see that on the 2D side here. But once we've got this step file in, again, we've got all of our annotation tools that we can work with here. So we'll just grab some of these legs, and we can drop these in, create. If you want to use the chain or the ordinates, those work as well as the standard dimensioning there. All this still works. It's just a live link into this data. So again, this was introduced back with Inventor 2016. It's been there. Some users know it's there. Some companies, it's new to them. Depending on which release you're coming from, depends on what files can be translated, especially on the Inventor side. It can only be one release newer. If you've got Inventor 2020, it'll work up with SolidWorks 2019 and older. Inventor 2022 will work with SolidWorks 2021 and older. Same with CATIA, it's a V5, V6. So we've got some translator tables for each version of Inventor. So if you were having issues with that, you could reach out to the Hagerman support desk, and we could help you with which files would be supported based off the current version of Inventor you are working with. So with that, we will turn it over here to Keith and see if we have any questions that have come in that have not been answered.
Up to this point, no questions have been posted.
Awesome. Well, that's either we've done a good job or a bad job. So we'll give you guys a few seconds here. If you do have any questions, please ask away. Miss Ashley, I do not see any questions coming in.
Okay. Well, thank you for the presentation, Mark, and thank you all for attending. If you do think of questions later, you can simply reply to that confirmation or reminder email you receive from GoToWebinar. We can get those questions to Mark or your sales rep to get any questions answered. Once again, a short survey will pop up as we close down today. And also a reminder that you will receive a follow-up email tomorrow, which will contain a link for the recording of today's presentation. And we'll go ahead and close things down for today, but thank you for joining us and have a great day, everyone.